They're Mitsubishi G4Ms, Allied codename Betty. Enterprise's anti-aircraft guns greet the invaders with a cloud of lead. USS Enterprise, alphanumeric designation CV-6, is a new breed of aircraft carrier. Yorktown class, the supercarrier of its era. It's a sleek-hulled, medium-weight vessel, 108 feet wide, with a flight deck running across almost the full 809 feet of her length. Her deck is Washington State timber. Her hull, Pennsylvania steel. Displacing 25,000 tons when fully loaded, the Enterprise has a range of 12,000 miles, with a top speed of 32.5 knots. She's armed with 24 50 caliber machine guns, 4 quad 1.1-inch cannons, and 8 5-inch guns that can take out air or surface targets from a maximum distance of 18,200 yards. The Big E weighs more than 16,000 tons less than the older carriers in the fleet, but can carry the same number of warplanes into battle. She's more fuel efficient, more agile, more deadly. If the enemy is located, the SBD, with a 2-man crew and a max speed of 250 miles per hour, can win an air-to-air shootout with the 2 50 caliber machine guns in its nose and dual rear-mounted 30 caliber free-floating machine guns. It also has the capability of hitting enemy ships with 1,200 pounds of bombs. A destroyer is a relatively small warship, typically with a displacement of about 2,200 tons, a length of some 400 feet, and a width of about 40 feet. Like Enterprise, a destroyer's largest guns are her dual-purpose 5-inchers, capable of firing 5-inch projectiles at either surface or air targets. Japanese air arsenal includes the B-5N2 torpedo bomber, nicknamed Kate, with a top speed of 235 miles per hour and a crew of 3. The plane doubles as a high-altitude bomber. But the aircraft that will prove to be the most deadly, sinking more Allied warships than any other in the Pacific War, is the D-3A-1 dive bomber, nicknamed Val. With a 2-man crew and a max speed of 240 miles per hour, the Val is capable of carrying 1 550-pound bomb and 2 130-pound bombs. USS Northampton is 600 feet long and 66 feet wide and displaces 9,000 tons. She has a top speed of 32.5 knots. With 9 8-inch guns, 4 5-inch rifles, 8 50 caliber machine guns, and 6 torpedo tubes, she is a force to be reckoned with. The torpedo bombers sent by Enterprise are Douglas TBD Devastators, slow, antiquated aircraft that will soon be replaced by more agile planes. With a sluggish maximum speed of 207 miles per hour and a feeble rate of climb of just 720 feet per minute, TBDs are overly vulnerable to both enemy fighters and anti-aircraft fire. The North American Mitchell B-25B is a twin-engine medium bomber with a range, depending on bomb load, of about 1,300 miles. It's typically manned by a crew of 5 and can deliver up to 5,000 pounds of bombs. While other bombers have more range and power, the B-25's modest wingspan of 67 feet 7 inches will allow USS Hornet to fit more bombers on its flight deck. A typical Japanese aircraft carrier is bristling with weaponry. The Kaga, an important carrier in this fight, wields 5 8-inch guns that can reach out more than 10 miles. For medium-range work, it has 16 120-millimeter batteries, and for the close-in fight, 22 25-millimeter cannons. This anti-aircraft arsenal can unleash a murderous hailstorm of lead. The Japanese destroyer Arashi spots the encounter. It charges in and starts dropping depth charges. A depth charge is an explosive device designed to sink a submarine with a powerful underwater explosion. A fuse set will activate at a predetermined depth, detonates the explosive. Now the hunt is on. With a speed of 35 knots and armed with 8 torpedo tubes and 26 depth charges, Arashi is a sub-killer. Zeros have a top speed of 330 miles per hour, a rate of climb of 3,100 feet per minute, 2 20-millimeter cannons in the wings. To make this agile predator even more lethal, there are 2 7.7-millimeter machine guns in the engine cowling. The battleship. USS North Carolina is an offensive and defensive powerhouse, combining anti-aircraft defense with massive shore bombardment capabilities. She has 9 16-inch guns and 20 5-inch 38s, backed up with a score of automatic anti-aircraft guns. With a cruising speed of nearly 30 knots, she's perfect protection for the Big E. The heavy cruiser USS Vincennes is one of the ships supporting the Guadalcanal invasion. Ships like Vincennes are the vital heavy frigates of the Pacific Fleet. Born in the Fore River plant in Quincy, Massachusetts, 588-foot Vincennes is a veteran of the Doolittle Raid and the Battle of Midway. She's one of 7 New Orleans-class heavy cruisers with an armament of 8 and 5-inch cannons, backed up by 50 caliber machine guns. 100 miles behind Ryujo and her escorts, the giant Japanese carriers Shokaku and Zuikaku are ready to pounce. Ryujo is bait for a trap, and Enterprise has sailed right into it. Shokaku and Zuikaku are sister ships. Both carriers helped launch the Pearl Harbor attacks, and both are destined to meet Enterprise again and again on the field of battle. Over 800 feet long, with crews of at least 1,600 men, these twin sisters can launch more than 160 aircraft against Enterprise. One of the ship's key defenses, the 20-millimeter battery. The Oerlikon 20mm is a 70 caliber air-cooled anti-aircraft machine gun. The weapon has an effective range of 1,000 yards and can spit out a stream of fire at 450 rounds per minute. Back on Enterprise, her 5-inch gun crews hammer out a barrage at the incoming planes. Enterprise's first defensive weapon, her 8 5-inch 38 caliber dual-purpose guns, are the best in World War II. With a team of the Big E's gunners behind them, they can lob 15 5-inch explosive shells per minute at a maximum range of 18,200 yards. During her hasty refit, Enterprise receives an important modification: new guns. She is stripped of all but one of her outdated Quad 1.1 anti-aircraft mounts. Sailors jokingly call these weapons Chicago pianos, a nickname typically used for the Tommy gun that ruled the streets of Chicago in the 1920s. Only one set of the slow-firing cannons will remain on the front of the ship, but the exposed position is right out in the open, a dangerous death trap for its gunners. Directly below the firefight in the skies is destroyer escort USS Smith. USS Smith has been on station all morning, screening Enterprise. Its mission: protect the massive carrier at all costs. Commissioned in 1936, USS Smith is a Mahan-class destroyer. Her overall length 341 feet, top speed 37 knots. She has a crew of about 158 officers and men. She's armed with a battery of 5 5-inch guns, 50 caliber machine guns, torpedo tubes, and depth charges. That Swede and Flash used to defend Enterprise is the F-4F Wildcat, a single-engine fighter. It's armed with as many as 6 50 caliber machine guns, capable of firing 1,400 rounds of ammo, and has a top speed of 320 miles per hour. Cruiser Atlanta gives her all in the violent firefight. Launched in 1941, Atlanta is 541 feet of killing power. She bristles with 16 5-inch rifles, 4 quad-mount 1.1 automatics, and 8 21-inch torpedo tubes. Hiei is a Congo-class battleship and displaces more than 36,000 tons with a crew of 1,300 men. In addition to her main battery of 8 14-inch guns, she's armed with 16 6-inch flak guns, 8 5-inch rifles, and as many as 118 machine guns. Hiei is a menacing sight on any battlefield. The hangar deck is one of the most vital parts of the ship. Here, the Big E's parked warplanes are prepared for battle. Hundreds of sailors man repair stations, welding shops, and storage rooms. The hangar is storage for an arsenal of machine guns, bombs, torpedoes, and ammunition. USS Washington is a North Carolina-class battleship right out of the Philadelphia Navy Yard. Overall length, 729 feet. Displacement, 35,000 tons. Her weaponry is 9 16-inch guns, 20 5-inch rifles, and more than a dozen automatic anti-aircraft guns. Fleet tug Navajo comes alongside Chicago and takes over the task of pulling the heavy ship. Tugs like Navajo are unsung heroes. Named after the native people of the desert Southwest, Navajo is 1,200 tons of workhorse. Armed only with a single 3-inch gun and 2 50-caliber machine guns, the little 200-foot ship sticks her neck out for cruiser Chicago. Japanese torpedoes killed her sisters Yorktown and Hornet. The Navy is bound to ensure that Enterprise does not suffer the same fate. The torpedo blister is a steel belt that wraps around the outer edge of the Big E's hull. Between the huge bulge and the ship itself is a part-flooded, part-air-filled compartment that will absorb the shock of explosion and the sharp fragments of a Japanese warhead. 18 more feet of solid steel and timber are added to her overall length, and her damage control equipment and radar is replaced. But the most important improvement, new 5-inch guns and 36 additional 40mm and 20mm anti-aircraft guns. Mark 37 and Mark 51 gun directors are mounted on either side of the Big E's island. These systems will provide vital target data and will guide the fire of Enterprise's heavy weapons. 33 feet long, with a maximum speed of 376 miles per hour to the Wildcat's 320 miles per hour. The F-6F is faster and 5 feet longer than the Wildcat. She's also got more firepower. With a standard armament of 6 50-caliber machine guns, she can deliver 2,400 rounds of fearsome ordnance on the enemy and can launch bombs or unguided rockets. Baltimore is the lead ship of her class. Born in the steelworks of Massachusetts in 1942, she's 673 feet of Yankee iron. She's armed with 9 8-inch guns, 5-inch 38s, and an arsenal of automatic weapons. Now, she's breaking them in like the dual-mounted Type 89 127mm gun. A fearsome aircraft menace, it delivers a 5-inch 50-pound projectile and can pick off aircraft at altitudes up to 25,000 feet. Hero is more maneuverable and has a longer range than the Hellcat. But the American fighter is faster, has better armor and better armament. And most important of all, American pilots are far better trained than their Japanese counterparts by this point in the war. The American torpedo bomber aircraft are Grumman TBF Avengers, the state-of-the-art. With a 1,700 horsepower engine, the Avenger is armed with 3 50-caliber machine guns and 1 30-caliber machine gun. It can carry either a single Mark 13 torpedo, 2 1,000-pound bombs, 4 500-pound bombs, or 12 100-pound bombs. Torpedoes for striking ships beneath the surface of the water. 1,000-pound contact bombs, bombs that explode on contact with the target, for attacking the decks of the biggest ships. 500-pound contact bombs for attacking ships or exploding buildings on the ground. 100-pound contact bombs for smaller vessels, smaller buildings, or for cratering airstrips so the enemy cannot launch or land planes. Delay fuse bombs for very low-level bombing raids. which allow the bombers to clear the target area before detonation. This way, the bomber itself does not get caught in the blast. Fired by pressing thumb levers, the dual-mounted Browning ANM-2 30-caliber machine guns can spit out 1,300 rounds per minute each. And with a muzzle velocity of 2,800 feet per second and a range of 1,100 yards, the Stinger, as this weapon has been affectionately dubbed, is a fierce defender against attacks by Zeros from the rear. USS New Jersey and her sister Iowa-class battleships open fire with heavy broadsides from their 16-inch batteries. These warships are a new generation of fast battleships. The Iowa-class battleship weighs in at 45,000 tons, with an overall length of 887 feet. In addition to dozens of 5-inch, 40mm, and 20mm anti-aircraft guns, they pack an impressive 9 16-inch 50-caliber rifles, capable of killing a target at 25 miles. Among the 15 carriers that Mitscher commands are 6 of the new Essex-class fleet carriers. Each of these giant flat tops displace more than 36,000 tons fully loaded, 10,000 more than Enterprise. They also pack heavier armament with 4 twin 5-inch guns, 8 single 5-inch guns, 8 quad-mount 40mm, and more than 40 20mm guns. They can also carry 110 aircraft to the Enterprise's 90. It also includes the new mega carrier Taiho. It's unlike anything the Big E has ever gone up against. Taiho, which means Great Phoenix, is 30,000 tons of Imperial iron. Built by Kawasaki, she has 2 enormous hangar decks compared to Enterprise's 1. 61 aircraft, and instead of wood, her flight deck is plated with 3-inch armored steel. Her weaponry consists of 12 99mm flak guns and 51 25mm machine guns. She is the flagship of the entire carrier force. American submarine SS Flying Fish cruises through the waters off the Philippine Islands on the hunt for any Japanese vessels that might head for Saipan. Flying Fish is a Gato-class submarine, 311 feet long. She has 10 21-inch torpedo tubes, capable of launching 24 torpedoes, and is armed with a single 3-inch deck gun. Right now, subs like Flying Fish are the eyes of the U.S. fleet. Among the warships are Japan's 2 super battleships. The monsters Musashi and Yamato. The biggest battleships ever built.
They were massive battleships. 863 feet long, 172-foot beam, weighing 72,000 tons. The Yamato and the Musashi both had a main battery of 9 460mm guns, that's 18.1 inches. The largest naval guns used in combat.
The Curtiss SB-2C Helldiver is a fearsome attack aircraft. Its impressive top speed of 294 miles per hour is made possible in part by its internal bomb bay. Carrying large bombs internally prevents wind drag. The bomber is armed with 2 20mm wing-mounted cannons and 2 30-caliber machine guns in the rear cockpit. The Japanese battleship Issei is actually a hybrid, a battleship aircraft carrier. As a result of heavy aircraft carrier losses earlier in the war, the Japanese Navy converted Issei into a half carrier by replacing the rear gun turrets with a short flight deck. Issei can carry up to 22 aircraft, but still retains the firepower of her 8 14-inch guns. Displacing 7,800 tons, a typical escort carrier is 512 feet in length and 65 feet in width. With a speed of 19 knots, the vessel can transport up to 28 aircraft. Crew size is typically 860 men, and most escort carriers defend themselves against air attack with 5-inch guns. The Hellcats have a new weapon in their arsenal: high-velocity rockets. Each fighter can fire off 6 rockets so powerful, they gain the nickname Holy Moses. They travel at over 1,300 feet per second, with a range of over 6,000 feet, and an explosive warhead that can penetrate armor.